Don't ever underestimate Red River. You can't tell what it's going to do. You can't predict what Red River's going to do. Whatever the Lord decides to do with it's what it's going to do.
Along the northern edge of Texas, there is a force which constantly redefines the state's boundary. We'll travel down this river to see how it has shaped the land, the towns, and people's lives along the way. The Red River develops from a collection of small creeks at the eastern edge of New Mexico. The creeks gather in the canyonlands of the Texas Panhandle. It is here that the Prairie Dog Town fork of the Red River begins. In Palo Duro Canyon, melting snow and rainfall carry sediment to the river, adding natural salts and red clay particles to the water. Tributaries like the Little Red, which runs out of Caprock Canyons, also support the Prairie Dog Town fork. But here, dry spells can turn the riverbed white from gypsum and other mineral deposits found in the water. At the Hardeman County line, the Prairie Dog Town fork takes the sole name of Red River and separates Texas from Oklahoma. Our journey down the Red begins in Quanah. As the seat of Hardeman County, the town was named after Quanah Parker, the last great Comanche chief, an area once roamed by Kiowa and Comanche Indians. Rolling plains and sandy loam soils made farming and ranching big business here.
At one time, there were like 10 different oil companies in here that had offices. Everything was on a boom. When the bottom fell out on the oil price and everything, well, they just moved out. And then it really did. It hurt everything downtown. It hurt our community when the oil industry went down. But it's picked back up.
Traveling downstream past the city of Wichita Falls, we enter Montague County at the site of Red River Station and the town of Spanish Fort. It was near this marker that cowboys herded thousands of cattle across the Red River on the historic Chisholm Trail. For drives heading north, Red River Station was their last chance for supplies before reaching Abilene, Kansas. When the river was up, some cattle drives would camp here for several days, waiting for the water to subside. Less patient drivers usually lost cattle, and sometimes their own life to the swift current.
Of course, I like the Red River because I fish in it all the time. But Red River it's had a great impact. It's some of the most fertile land in Texas is along the Red River.
The town of Spanish Fort was so named in 1854 when pioneers thought they found ruins of a Spanish presidio here. But it was actually the site of a Tavoyan Indian village. The Tavoyas were industrious people. Living in grass huts, they farmed in fenced areas and stored their crops. But their village on the Red River made history in 1759. With the aid of French guns and ammunition, the Tavoyas defeated a Spanish army column sent to seek revenge for an Indian raid on the San Saba mission. Some say this very battle stopped the Spaniards' northern migration. Continuing down the Red, our journey brings us to Lake Texoma and Denison Dam.
The lake had two major project purposes, flood control and hydropower production. To those ends, they've met their objectives. They have indeed controlled flooding and produces a lot of hydropower. So it's doing that. In recreation, my gosh, the just fishing alone here on Texoma, the direct income is about $25 million a year. That's just from fishing. So it's an important resource right here.
11 miles downstream from Denison Dam, the Red River flows under a one-lane bridge at Carpenter's Bluff.
There's always been a controversy on whether the river runs east or west, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm 67 years old, and I still don't know whether it runs east or west. And I was born down there, but I have seen the water come up to the bottom of the bridge. Many times I've seen that.
Constructed in 1908 as a railroad bridge, it also allowed horse-drawn vehicles to cross. The bridge gave communities easier access to markets when ferry boats were the only other crossings nearby.
If it wasn't for the bridge and it wasn't for the Denison Dam, this part of the East Grayson County would just be isolated from everything over in the southeastern part of Oklahoma.
Our last stop along the Red lies 35 miles northeast of Paris. Joined by the Kiamishi River from Oklahoma, the Red makes a bend at historic Jonesboro, the original gateway to Texas.
Oh, there's a lot of history here. They say Davy Crockett and Sam Houston crossed the river in this area. She hadn't had any water all day, I don't guess.
Elizabeth Poole now lives on the site once known as Jonesboro, a town that began its development in 1814 and was one of the first Anglo-American settlements in Texas.
There was a courthouse, a hotel, a jail, and 3 stores, general stores, up there at that time. Well, that river is up, isn't it? And look at those cracks. That's gonna go.
The Red's changing course and the economy made Jonesboro a ghost town by the mid-1800s. Today, the river continues to redefine its path. Over the years, Ms. Poole has seen her property gradually disappear.
I guess the Lord taketh, the Lord giveth.
The Red River still shapes the land and life along its banks, as it has for centuries. Its course has been altered by man, but it largely remains uncontrolled. And so it is that this river on the border rolls on.